The Nikon D850 is Nikon's latest high-resolution full-frame DSLR, boasting a 46-megapixel backside illuminated CMOS sensor. But in a fairly radical departure for the series, it is also one of the company's fastest-shooting DSLRs. This combination of properties should significantly widen the camera's appeal to high-end enthusiasts as well as a broad range of professional photographers. We bought the Nikon D850 for testing on Amazon from the official sellers, and if you want to get the same experience that we did, we highly recommend that you buy from the same place. Links will be in the description. If you like this video, remember to click like and subscribe. Inside the Nikon D850 is an all-new 45.7 megapixel full-frame FX format CMOS sensor, which does away with an optical low-pass filter. It packs gapless on-chip microlenses with a backside illuminated architecture to maximize its light-gathering capabilities. The D850 also offers a standard sensitivity range of ISO 64 to 25600, expandable to ISO 32 to 102400. Nikon has paired this new sensor with the same X-Speed 5 image processor seen in its flagship D5. This helps to bring continuous shooting speed up to a healthy 7 frames per second, and there's the option to boost this to 9 frames per second with the MB D18 grip and EN EL18 high-power battery. Autofocus modes include auto area, 3D color tracking, single-point autofocus, and the option to select the number of continuous focus points from a group of 9, 25, 72, or 153. In live view, there's a new pinpoint autofocus mode that's designed to ease precise focusing on smaller subjects in the frame. But without on-chip phase detection, Nikon is still relying entirely on contrast detection for autofocus. As on the D500, Nikon has omitted the pop-up flash in an effort to make the camera even sturdier. Some may be sorry to see this feature disappear. I found it useful in the past for triggering remote speed lights, but it's always felt like a bit of a weak link on a ProSpec DSLR. And with no pop-up flash, a tough magnesium alloy body, and weather seals to protect it from the elements, the D850 feels every bit the pro DSLR you'd expect it to be. It's incredibly well made, and there's no question this camera's up for the rigors of professional use. I've seen Nikon attempt to quiet its DSLRs in the past by adding shooting modes that effectively dampen the sound of mirror slap. The D850 is equipped with 2 such modes, one offering 3 frames per second continuous shooting, and both can be found from the drive mode dial on the top corner of the body. Although these modes do suppress the sound of the shutter a little, mirror slap is still audible. To go one better, Nikon has introduced a silent zero-vibration electronic shutter to the D850 that enables users to capture images in complete silence when using live view. Compared to the D810, the controls have also been tweaked on the D850. In fact, if you've been shooting with the D500 or D5, it should be pretty much home from home for you. And if you're planning on using different bodies side by side, it should be making switching between them pretty seamless. If you're coming from a D810 though, you'll notice the top plate arrangement has changed for a start, and it's much better for it. The ISO button now sits just behind the shutter button, which makes it easier to adjust single-handed. It's an improvement on the slightly awkward positioning on the D810. Where it sat in the cluster of 4 buttons above the drive mode selector. Round the back, and along with the tilt-angle display, the other notable addition is a small autofocus joystick, like the one we've seen on both the D500 and D5. This enables you to quickly select your desired focus point, although you can still use the 8-way controller on the back of the camera if you prefer. Its positioning means it falls under the thumb easily. If I'm being super picky, it would be nice to be able to assign this as the back button focus control as well, but the autofocus on button is positioned just above the joystick. You can set the majority of the controls on the Nikon D850 to light up along with the top plate LCD by rotating the on-off switch beyond the on position. It's a really useful feature that makes it much easier to quickly change settings in poor light. All in all, the D850 offers very refined shooting experience. You'll be able to happily shoot and tweak core shooting settings without taking your eye away from the viewfinder. Nikon has equipped the D850 with the same multicam 20K autofocus module as its flagship D5. In my book, this is one of the best, if not the best, autofocus systems we've seen on any camera to date. It features an impressive 153 autofocus points, of which 55 are user selectable, while 99 are the more sensitive cross-type points for even greater precision. That's not all. Autofocus sensitivity goes all the way down to -4 EV for the central autofocus point, with the remainder focusing down to -3 EV, which should enable the D850 to focus pretty much in almost complete darkness. As I've experienced with the D5, the system is excellent, with sports and action photographers unlikely to be disappointed by the D850's autofocus performance. If you're coming from the 51-point autofocus system in the D810, you'll notice the difference, particularly in poor light. Even in these tricky conditions, the D850's ultra-sensitive autofocus snapped into focus incredibly quickly. Being such a versatile camera, I found myself shooting a wide range of subjects in many different environments to find out how the D850 performs. First, I used the camera to shoot a series of landscapes and quickly found myself blown away by the astonishing detail the sensor resolves. The marriage of high-resolution, fast focus speed, and tilt-angle screen allowed me to capture shots bursting with detail from low angles, far easier than any previous high-resolution DSLR Nikon has produced. The crystal-clear rear display with its responsive touch control and accurate color rendition is excellent for monitoring results. I regularly used the double-tap function combined with the rear dial to quickly zoom into 100% and check focus between shots. Even if you're not overly keen on the idea of using a touchscreen on a DSLR, the D850 is so good you're likely to use it more than you think, especially to navigate the menu. Having tested the D850 in a range of conditions, with its toughest challenge coming when I shot cyclists in a competition. With cyclists going flat out, the D850 didn't let me down. Focusing speed was incredibly quick, even letting me grab shots when cyclists appeared in the frame without warning, while it would happily track fast-moving subjects as they moved towards and across the frame. As you'd expect from a sensor packing 45.4 million pixels, the level of detail the Nikon D850 is capable of resolving is impressive. You'll be able to produce large prints rich in detail, although it goes without saying that to make the most of the sensor, you'll need the best glass. Nikon has included its clever automated procedure for fine-tuning lenses on the D850. It's an incredibly useful tool for tweaking the performance of prime lenses for critical focusing, and the system on the D850 has been improved to make it even easier to set up and calibrate your lenses. Nikon users have had a long 3-year wait for a replacement to the mighty D810, but the great news is that the D850 doesn't disappoint in the slightest, delivering impressive features by the truckload. Professionals, semi-professionals, and serious enthusiasts who settle for it will be thunderstruck by the performance of the new 45.7 million pixel full-frame CMOS sensor, particularly its low-light capabilities at high ISO. Nikon is well aware that a professional DSLR needs more than a high-resolution and excellent noise response to satisfy photographers in their droves, and by successfully marrying high resolution with high speed, they've made the D850 one of the most versatile DSLRs around. We bought the Nikon D850 for testing on Amazon from the official sellers, and if you want to get the same experience that we did, we highly recommend that you buy from the same place. Links will be in the description. If you like this video, remember to click like and subscribe.